Loop 11. Accept. In the past, I've given it to you, my love, and from now on, I promise to be a good man. After reading this status and scrolling down to find the picture below, which is a photo of my in heart in Korea, I can only roll my eyes. I don't want to be negative towards this couple, but the past incidents made me not trust this heart guy that much. This son of an influential person was like a real time bomb. I now understand Doll's frustration. Still, I don't want to interfere with Mai's life anymore. Otherwise, it's me or Doll who is going to die trying to interfere with Mai and the heart's romance. No one wants to go back in time at this point. What are you doing, Tin? Dr. Singh's deep voice came from behind. I turned around from the chair of the public computer in the residence room to look at the visitor. Singh sat down at the table and picked up some snacks and put them in his mouth. Editing the last dissertation. I'm going to print it out. I hurriedly closed the Facebook page that was opened in my browser. Is outside okay now? Did you have time to sit and chill? Good. He's working on the dissertation at all night without sleeping, just like me. I smiled a little. Right now we're in a fight. Whoever finishes first wins. But I'm going to print it out, so I definitely win. Singh looked interested. Then have a bet so that I will inspire you guys. Whoever loses must give what the winner wants. Something like this. Good idea. What do you want? Buddy? Said Singh with his calm face. I powed loudly. You're obscene. Don't have to ask for something like this. Just look at the eyes. I laughed out loud, causing Sin to frown. Actually, I said it to make Sin jealous. Doll and I have nothing but kissing and helping. Well, yeah, we don't have to talk about the details. To summarize, just a little too much. I didn't expect that I would get Doll's body anytime soon. I'll wait until he's ready. But I'm pretty sure Doll will be the one to say this first if he's ready. My job is to do what he wants, and that's it. You really turned out like a man. It surprised me. You two saying, I pointed to the one who caused the big gossip right now. So, what's between you and Gap? Pitoy told me this morning that there was something between you two. Singh smiled, which was so scary for me. There was nothing between the two of us. Then, how did Pitoy say that he saw you two kissing in front of the locker? I became annoyed with Singh's attitude. Singh laughed. We didn't kiss, it was an angle. Pitoy is old and his eyesight is poor. I just told Gap to be mine. I felt goosebumps running down to my shins. To be yours? Like being your boyfriend? Singh shook his shoulders, pretended to ignore my question, and stood up. I looked at him, who was teasing me. Singh, where are you going? Come back and talk to me, you four-eyes pervert. What's the story behind this? And what about pain? Then he just left the room without answering my question. Ouch. My head really hurts talking with this guy. I turned to look at the work on the computer screen. This time I won't let the story of Singh pass again. Saul shook his head after hearing the love triangles. That's so weird. I flashed the turn signal and waited to turn into the alley of Doll's village. Right? I thought my friend was going to steal a woman, but in the end, why did it come together by itself? I don't understand. Or is it like this? Paul was focused on analyzing the matter that's not really useful. Must have enjoyed it. Actually, P. Gap secretly likes P. Sing, but P. Sing still doesn't know about it. So, Pipin wants to help by using the tactics to pretend that she likes P. Gap, so that P. Sing will know about his heart and get involved. Now, Pitin should probably step back and look at P. Sing and P. Gap happily. I laughed. You think so? It's a lot like Thai dramas. So, you think our lives aren't enough drama? Tal asked me with a simple expression on his face. Well, true. I think it's more than a Hollywood movie. I slowed down when I saw it was close to Tal's house. Today, what scene do you think you'll see in the drama? A sad scene where the heroine and protagonists are separated by their parents, or a happy ending scene where parents accept who we are? Don't know. Tal unfastened the seatbelt. But whatever the scene, I'll stay with you. My heart became a bubbly feeling when I heard what Tal had just said a moment ago. I reached out to wrap my arms around him and pulled his head to kiss gently. I love you very much. I won't give up as well. Oh, okay. Tal took a deep breath as if trying to regain consciousness. Let's go. That's right. The reason why Tal and I came to see Aunt Pang and Uncle Oat today was to reveal our relationship to them. This is something I want to do as soon as I meet Tal. I'm an open person. I won't hide if I'm in a relationship with someone because I don't see any benefit, especially with my parents and Tal's parents who will someday know the truth. Knowing today or the next day would be the same. Tal led me straight to a large house that I was feeling familiar with. My heart was beating faster when I saw Aunt Pang open the door to welcome me. She still smiles at me as gently as every time we meet. I don't know how long this smile will last. It might disappear when I confess what I am to her son. There he is! Come inside! The food is just ready! Hello, Aunt Pang. I raised my hand to White Doll's mom. Aunt Pang nodded and let me and Doll into the house. This isn't the first time I've come to this house, but I was more excited than usual. I raised my hand to massage my upper arm to reduce my nervousness. Father, mother, please have mercy on this son-in-law. Doll's family dinner and I started with the food ordered from a Chinese restaurant. I secretly saw that Doll would choose to eat food with the one that has the least vegetables. It made me want to move the vegetable stir-fry dish in front of him and whisper, a kid who doesn't eat vegetables? Which made my calf get hit by Doll's leg once. Aunt Pang and Uncle Oat asked me about my work the most. They seem excited when I tell them about the strange case I've ever faced. I was in my first year at that time. One patient's mother brought the patient to me. It was a 16-year-old boy who came with a twitching an hour ago. I said, gesturing along to make the story more exciting. That boy looked like a very neat child. From his chart, it is convulsions. We were trying to find the cause. His blood test came out normal. To be sure, we'll have to do a computerized tomography of the brain. When I looked into his eyes, I felt like he wanted to say something but couldn't. It was probably something important. I walked to tell his mother that she can sit and wait over there, but she refused. And what did the doctor do? Uncle Oat asked curiously. So, I asked medical students to tell his mother that the nurses in front of the emergency room wanted more information. She believed and walked away. I used this moment to walk up to that patient again and ask if there was anything he wanted to tell me. I smiled proudly. The patient whispered that he had taken drugs before. It's a cough powder mixed with a painkiller tramadol, which was the reason for the convulsions. The boy told me with a scared look on his face. Don't tell my mom. Being a doctor, you must have the art of speaking. Otherwise, you won't get a proper diagnosis. Aunt Pang smiled. Teach my son to speak well like you, Tin. Dong Tol is also good at speaking. I turned to look at Tol, who was chewing his food. He speaks a lot when he's with me. Sometimes I didn't catch it. That's good. It's unbelievable that Nong Tin and Nong Tol will get back together. It reminds me of when you two were kids. Right, Dad? Aunt Pang turned to talk happily to Uncle Oat. Yeah, the other day, I don't know what inspired my father to pick up a picture that the two of you took together. That time, Dr. Tin was stuck to tall, and you refused to be separated. I guess that's because I love him so much, I said while laughing. Aunt Pang and Uncle Oat didn't seem to be bothered by anything, but Tall stopped chewing and turned to look at his parents. He was trying to swallow the food with difficulty and put down his silverware on his plate. He seemed afraid that I would say something suspicious. I think it's time to tell the truth. I put down my silverware and took a deep breath before speaking firmly. Uncle Oat, Unpang. Actually, I came here to tell you something. What's up? Asked Unpang. Well, when the time came, it was actually harder than I thought. My heart began to pound so hard. A feeling of excitement ran from his chest down to his forearms. I was silent for several seconds amidst everyone's excited expressions. Well, this is I and Titin are in a relationship. It became Doll's voice that spoke for the words in my heart. I turned to look at Doll with a shocked expression. Silence engulfed the area around the dining table for 10 seconds. I'm starting to see my future. Either Aunt Pang or Uncle Oat would definitely kick me out of the house. In a relationship is good. I was in a relationship with many doctors as well. It's good to know each other. Uncle Oat seemed to interpret it in another way. I was opening my mouth to explain that he was misunderstanding, but Tall intervened first. No, Dad. In a relationship means dating. As Tall turned to look at my face. A boyfriend. I was about to scream right there, but could not stop myself. I saw the shocked eyes of Aunt Pang and Uncle Oat. Everyone was silent again. The awkwardness gradually formed slowly, causing the air to become heavy. Tall moved slightly and looked at his parents, alternating with his plate as if feeling guilty. Say something, Tall whispered. Yes. I bowed my head to apologize until my forehead almost sank into the plate. That was the reason why I came here today. I would like to inform you that Tall and I are currently dating. Uh, Uncle Oat let out his voice. You're not joking, right? I didn't dare to raise my head to make eye contact with my father-in-law. No, I really love him. I told you! I saw Aunt Pang move her elbow to her husband. It's about what we fear. About the temple? Uncle Oat shook his head inside. It's exactly what has been asked for. You remember when the locals said the Buddha was holy? Especially if a child goes to pray, it will be true. Aunt Pang turned to look at me. I couldn't tell if she was angry or not. It's been a long time. About marriage, right, Aunt Pang? I decided to raise my head to meet Aunt Pang's eyes to show her my fighter blood. I will protect Nong until we get married. This is what I said that time. I don't even remember what I said exactly, but when I met Tol, I realized this person had something to do with me. I looked at the reaction of Aunt Pang and Uncle Oat. The two of them still hadn't shown any expression. I just want you to know, Tol mumbled. Mom and Dad can get mad at me. I just want you to know. Tall and I were already preparing ourselves that we were going to be kicked out of the house for sure. But what happened exactly was the opposite. Aunt Pang got up and walked straight toward me. She bent down and hugged me. I raised my hand and hugged her back. Nong Tin, said Aunt Pang. We have already prepared that this incident would happen. At first, I didn't believe in superstitions, but after Nong Tin took Nong Tol to swear like that, we looked for information, and the locals said in unison that it must be true. If it's Dr. Tin, then it should be okay. Uncle Oat closed his eyes, still like he was trying to make up his mind. He has a job. Our families know each other. If Tol is okay, then marriage should not be a problem. Yes, have you talked about when you want to get married? Wait a minute. Tal looked at Aunt Pang with a shocked expression on his face. I haven't even thought of marrying him. I looked at Tal's expression now and smiled calmly. He probably hadn't thought that his parents would have made up their minds since the moment I took him to swear. Will it be possible, P.O., if they had sworn the oath and then follow? I'm afraid you might encounter something bad as well. Aunt Pang turned to look at her husband. About marriage, we can talk about it later, Aunt Pang. As he said, we just came here to let you know about our relationship, I said as I touched Aunt Pang's arm. Aunt Pang can accept it, right? Aunt Pang looked at Uncle Oat as if she wanted to ask his opinion. Uncle Oat sighed. It's inevitable. If we don't follow, I'm afraid something bad might happen to Tol and Dr. Tin. Unfortunately, it had already happened, but it was something that I and Tol weren't telling anyone. We just looked at each other's faces. His parents had no way of knowing what I and Tol had gone through to get to this point. Yes, I had a nightmare lately as well. I dreamed that Nong Tol was sick and that he had to go to the emergency room. First, I thought it was because of the concern since I knew Tol had a heart attack, but now it feels like a bad sign. The thing is, I had a dream too. Uncle Oat raised his hand and massaged his brows. We can't forbid it, Bang. If he has to marry Dr. Tin, if they don't love each other, they might have a fake wedding. But since they love each other like this, it's good too. Yes. And Pang turned to look at Tal with a worried look on his face. Don't worry that we will not accept it. No matter who you are, we will always love you. In this situation, it was Nong Tal who was supposed to cry, but the person with tears in his eyes turned into me instead. I raised my hand to wipe away the tears of gratitude. I stood up and hugged Aunt Pang tightly. Thank you. I never thought that Dad and Mom would accept it. You sure changed the pronouns quickly, shouted Uncle Oat across the table, making me and Aunt Pang burst into laughter together. Doll, who sat quietly all along, sighed as if he had just lifted a gigantic mountain out of his chest. The moment his parents talked to each other, he must have been waiting for the answer that he forgot to breathe for a while. He wouldn't have thought that everything would go so smoothly. After having a full meal, I and Tol asked to go back to sleep at my condo. Luckily, Tol's parents allowed Tol to sleep in the same place as his boyfriend. They were the ones who really gave their only son freedom. But because he was being raised like a prince all along, Tol has become somewhat self-centered. He is stubborn but cute, and likes to indulge himself without being interrupted. But I think I'm able to cope with him already. It's very easy just to do what he wants and that's it. Everything will go well. Bitin, Tol said after finishing his seatbelt. Can you stop by at 7-Eleven first? Yeah, sure, I answered without a second thought. You don't have to come. If you want anything, just tell me. Tol said in a low voice. I turned to look at Tol suspiciously. Well, it'll be easy to find a place to park. I'll follow you. I said you don't have to. Tell me what you want. Tol looked more annoyed than he should, like he was hiding something. As I stated, do what my boyfriend wants. Okay, then buy me some bread to eat tomorrow morning. Do you want that milk protein as well? Tol's question made me excited. I never told him what kind of milk I like. He must have found it in my refrigerator. Yes, please. Two is enough. I really want to pounce on him and hug him tightly with love. Why does he know my heart so much? End of Loop 11. Accept.